Hey my friends, this is the ultimate Mesto guide. In this video I will show you all aspects and techniques I observed on Mesto's productions, and I show you them very detailed in this video. The name Mesto is a fusion of Mesto's real first and second name Mel Stump. Mel plus Stump equals Mesto. Nice. Mesto began to play the violin when he was young.
When I was 6 I played the violin
and he had an overall interest in music since he was a child. He found out about FL Studio someday and started creating tracks with it. Back in 2015 Mesto uploaded his first good tracks to SoundCloud. He gained a good amount of attention as the label Future House Music shared some of his tracks. This was just the beginning of his rise in the EDM world, and guys, when you analyze his music and his overall mixing skills, it is very clear why he managed to get onto the top of this industry, because this guy is an absolute genius. His melodies are super creative and catchy, and man, I don't know how he does his mixing, it is so super on point.
Mesto, play the drop! It's pretty big if you look at it like this.
It is hilarious that 90% of the time he does not know what he's doing.
I don't know why I layered so many, but I don't know what this is. I don't know why I did it, but I don't know what I did here. I don't know why I added this, but...
And beside that music thing, everyone likes him, especially the Asian girls. Ha ha ha. Okay guys, thoughts enough story time. I now show you a preview of the track we dive into in this video.
If you're lonely, don't you think you're on your own when it gets dark inside your head? Take my boss and from there, you owe me. You owe me.
So guys, at first I show you how I made the lead melody. I observed in Mesto's tutorials that he stacks a lots of different sounds to create one big full lead. But the main idea that you have to understand is that you have an idea of what you want your lead to sound like. Therefore you take one lead as your main lead, and after you have found your suitable main lead, you will search for different sounds to strengthen your main lead and make it sound bigger.
Then we have the main lead, which I made in silent.
And after he had his main lead, he stacked it up with another different sounding sounds.
All these layers are very ugly if you hear it by themselves, but they all add their own little thing, which makes it a little bit better.
You guys heard it right. You need one main lead you really like. And after you found it, you have to search for another sounds that sounds different to stack up the lead and make it bigger and unique. I did the same thing. I found a lead I wanted to have and that become my main lead. Then guys, I searched for another different leads of my Future House preset pack to make my main lead bigger. Together the lead are sounding like this so far. I mixed them together right here. Then I thought my lead needs some more organic sounding sounds, so I add 3 vocal samples and an electric guitar sound. It just fills up the lead a bit. So guys, now I show you how I process the leads. As I said, I mixed them easily together right here with these knobs. Then I put them all together into one channel and gave them the kickstart for the sidechain. Then I equalized it like this. I cut out the lows and some off the highs. I just used my ears right here. Then I grabbed the OTT to compress the leads and glue them together. Then I added the decapitator and pull of the drive to distort the crap out of them. Then guys, I added reverb, which I linked to the peak controller to make the lead a bit more wet and wide. And this is how the lead sounds together after the whole processing. In the second part of the drop I put the signature Mesto whistle sound. Nice. Now I show you how I made the chords. Really often Mesto uses some bouncy plucky chord sounds to give the whole track more groove. Therefore I used some pluck sounds in Serum, string sounds from Nexus, and a piano from Labs. For the processing I also took the kickstart for the sidechain. Really often Mesto uses a very short and punchy sidechain like this.
I made my own sidechain thing, which is really short.
After that I EQ'd the chords like this. OTT to compress them. I used our bass to boost some frequencies at 120 Hz. Then I added reverb. Done. Now guys, we dive into a thing everyone needs to know about Mesto.
So we have the bass.
He just uses a preset from Massive almost all the time.
It's called 90s Justin.
But I try to get the same result with my basses. I just took a few from Spire and Cylinth. What is very essential to give your basses a bouncy vibe is that you have to give them a bit of release. This is not bouncy. Just pull up the release up to here. This, my ladies and gentlemen, is bouncy. I've done it with all my basses. I put in sub bass underneath and they sounding together like this. I EQ'd the mid basses like this and gave them the R bass to boost the 100 Hz area and compress them with the OTT. What is really essential that I sidechained them manually with the fruity balance because I wanted them to react very precise to the kick layer I created later. For the sub bass I basically done the same, I only EQ'd it the opposite way and boosted the very lows with the R bass. Together the bass line sounds like this. Nice. Now my lovely friends, we are coming to the drum loop. For the kicks I layered 3 kicks to give them a good amount of punch. I added a top kick for extra punch. I boosted some lows. And guys, now I show you a trick that Mesto uses and what makes his drum loops unique.
Check out the kick. I just add a kickstart on it and then add this preset.
You just reverse the side chain with the kickstart preset, so you can really shorten up your kicks but you keep the sub in it. With this technique Mesto achieves very punchy but short kickin' kicks. Nice. In the original track Mesto duplicated the kick and made an action-reaction thing with it like this to give it more groove. Now we are coming to the claps. Mesto's claps are always very snappy and short. To make the claps punch hard you have to layer a bunch of them.
There are a lot of layers claps. Another clap. More claps. More claps.
So I took the layering very seriously and layered countless claps and even snares to achieve a very nice snappy sound. For the second part of the drop I put in a reversed clap I created and some hi-hat loops and percussions. Together the drum loop sounds like this.
It really sounds cool. All those little elements, it's a really cool groove.
Thanks Jay for your support. Love you. For a bit more background atmosphere and a stronger body I added a piano layer and an ambient sound of my future house sample pack. We need a nice acapella that fits into our song.
You don't know me, don't you think that I get lonely? It gets dark inside my head. Check my pulse and if I'm dead, you owe me. If you're lonely, don't you think you're on your own when it gets dark inside your head? Check my pulse and if I'm dead, you owe me.
And we chop up some pieces from the acapella and drag it into some places over our song and support it with a sweep transition.
You owe me. You owe me.
For the drum fill we added a sub drop sound. And we make some nice plucky chord thing like this. And we make saw chords with a filter. Guys, we are almost ready. For the build-up we took some tonal risers from my pack, some claps with a pitch automation, a string sound in a mid-bass and the acapella and thoughts it. The mid-bass has also a pitch automation. We are ready guys. Before we are listening to the drop I have to tell you that you can get the full FLP with all the used presets and samples for free. And check out my preset pack. It contains 100 Cylinth presets, 100 Serum presets, and 100 Spire presets. My full sample pack comes out very soon, so stay tuned. Here is the full song guys.
If you're lonely, don't you think you're on your own when it gets dark inside your head? Check my pulse and if I'm there, you owe me. You owe me.
Thanks guys for watching. I love you.